Hey there. Okay. So I thank you for continuing to watch. This portion I want to just share um, because I get emails oftentimes, and one common question that I'm asked is, how was it for you? How was it for you when God first called you into the ministry, and particularly, I guess, prophetic ministry? Because many of you all know, called to preach at the age of 14. Um, Very traditional church setting in which women did not preach. And what I mean by that, they weren't rejected from preaching. It just wasn't visible before me. I really didn't have. There was one woman of God um, in my hometown that I knew of that was a preacher, and other than that, that was it. As far as TBN and the Word Network and things like that, guess what, y'all? We just got TBN in that small town maybe 5 or 10 years ago. I'm going to say 5 years ago. 5 or 10 years ago, they just got a TBN satellite for that area. I know, weird, right? But real talk. And so I didn't have very much access to people around the country. You all are blessed. You can go on YouTube and like type in anybody's name that you want and just pull up any preacher. What a vital resource that is. That is what's up. But I didn't have that. In fact, I remember when there was not an internet. Am I a dinosaur now? I feel so old. But I remember. I remember when they came in our classrooms to try to teach us about this new system of communication called the World Wide Web that would connect us all over the world. And it was like, okay, I won't go into that. But anyway, so I didn't really have a lot of examples of women in the ministry around me. In the church that I grew up in, it was just Rev, and awesome man of God, did his best, but I just didn't see any people looking like me, especially not as young as I was, because in my church, the young people, we were just kind of barely there. We were there because they made us go. And the only thing we really got hype about was about like the mass choir. We don't even have hardly mass choirs anymore. But we got it. I mean, those were the days when, don't let me start with that. When you would have a musical, and everybody in the whole world would just come out and sing, and you'd be there all day and all night. Please, the A and B selection. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, a musical was cause for you to go get a dress made, hair done. A musical was cause for you to have a rehearsal on a Saturday and just stay there all day until you got your A and your B selection polished and tight, because you knew that you were going to have to get up there and represent. You know what I'm saying? Do they still do that? Anyway, so really choirs, and I put a throwback choir video up. So go to my other channel, Prophetess Stacey. It is hilarious. I think I was like 15 or 16 in that video. Hilarious. But anyway, choirs were really the only thing that kept the young people motivated. That, and maybe Christmas plays, maybe Easter speeches, but other than that, there was really nothing that the youth would get excited over in my church. And so really didn't have a lot of examples of people really being on fire for God. We would just sit there like this until church was over, unless we were singing, unless it was our turn to sing in the junior choir. So that's pretty much how my first experiences in church were. But I will tell you this, I can say that I have always felt the presence of God. Even back then. I'm telling you, our church was traditional. We didn't even have drums, y'all. Do they have drums now? I think they just got drums. They just got drums. In 2008, they just got drums. And so you can imagine But I've always been able to feel and sense the presence of God and to hear the voice of God. How, I don't know, because I was not taught how to develop any of that. It's just something that was innately in me. It was just there. In fact, I cannot remember a time when I was not aware of God in some kind of way, shape, or form. So much so to it would baffle my parents. And I love my mom and my dad, but a lot of times they just did not understand. They still don't understand a lot. They support me. I believe they pray for me. I know they pray for me. And they encourage me when they could. But they really didn't understand. And so I spent a lot of time just kind of alone. Don't have any natural siblings. So I spent a lot of time alone. Just with God. And I had a very, very full childhood, very healthy childhood with mother, father in the picture. I simply adore my dad. He's like my hero, my best friend, confidant, life coach. He's the bomb. I love you, Daddy. If you ever get to see this video, they don't come online and do stuff like this. But anyway, but God was very much so present and real for me. I can remember even going to school, and many of you all, my old classmates are on MySpace now, and when they find out that I'm a preacher, they're really not surprised, because I've just kind of always been, I guess, the type that would do that, or grow up to be that. I don't know. You'd have to ask them. Not to say I was perfect, not to say that I did not try stuff, but it was almost like God just kept me close. Just kind of kept me close. And the first time that I was aware that God was actually calling me to preach is when I heard his audible voice telling me to preach his word. And, of course, 13 years later, from that time that I actually started preaching to the time I was called, I'm still doing it. All right? So just want to encourage everybody out there. You may be watching this. God might be pulling on I even believe that God is pulling on the heartstrings of somebody right now, telling you, see, you can do that. And if that's you, I want you to email me. Click on that name, Dimensions of Stacey. Click on it, and then send me an email. Just click on that little icon right by that name and hit me up, all right? I'd love to talk to you if that's you. I want to encourage you to do what God has called you to do. Whatever it is, if you sing, if you rap, if you mime, if you dance, if you write, if you're gifted to do plays, or if it's just preaching the word of the Lord, if it's serving. Ooh, that's one that we don't talk about a lot. If it's serving, if it's whatever it is, all right? Do it. And live for God. Live saved. Live holy. You can be holy. You can be saved. I was saved through high school. I was saved through college. Never went to a frat party in college. Never went to a club. Never drank anything in college, y'all. You can be saved, all right? And even if your record is not perfect, and mine is not either. that's another day. Maybe I'll tell you about that kind of stuff. Praise the Lord. Because the trouble I got in was with, you know what I'm saying? With little stuff we used to do on church trips. Oh, y'all don't know nothing about church trips. Listen to the messages that I post. I talk about it there. But I just want to encourage you. Do what it is that God is calling you to do. All right? Because we got some work to do out here. I think I'm going to wrap it up for tonight. I thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being patient. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your suggestions. And if it's something you want me to talk about specifically, hit me up. Hit me up and I'll pray about it and see if I can cover that. Y'all hit up. Anyway, horns honking outside my window. It's all kind of stuff that want to go on outside of my window when I come record for YouTube. What's up with that? All right, y'all. Enjoy Jesus and all his joys. Be blessed. I want you to know that somebody's praying for you. All right?